Welcome back to the Gamma Room.
Yes.
I am your host, DJ Logic. With me, of course, as always, we got the co-host, KD Trendsetter,
Yeah.
and we are back with another episode of the Gamma Room.
Yes.
Today, we have the honor and pleasure to be able to sit and talk with someone in Gamma's history who is synonymous with induction, the beginning, so to speak,
Right.
of Gamma Epsilon Theta. So since its infancy, this gentleman has been part of Gamma Epsilon Theta from designing the shield to becoming a Gamma president from 1969 to 1970. So please give a warm Gamma welcome to Mr. Charles Price.
Yes.
Hey, good.
Mr. Price, welcome to the Gamma
Yes,
Room.
yes.
We appreciate you taking this time to meet with us, and being able to share some of your experiences, some knowledge, and just introduce yourself to the rest of Gamma Epsilon Theta that have not met you but know who you are. So, you got anything you want to say before we get started?
Well, I'm surprised, but I'm glad to see you young men here, to come here on a short drive, to be able to get up here and to know what we were doing and what was going on before, to see this 50 some years later still progressing to obtain the what Gamma Epsilon Theta is all about.
Right.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Like I said before, the pleasure is ours. This is a true honor for us. And just in case, if you didn't know, we do have our brother Olin Walden. He is also in the building. So from time to time, we may have to lean on him a little bit. Just if you hear another voice, that's exactly who it is. So.
Right.
But Mr. Price, let's get back to you and talk to us. Please talk to us. We are dying to know, what, how, and why Gamma. Talk about the founding brothers and being in that room for that inception of Gamma Epsilon Theta.
Well, I'll be glad to do that. It was started in conversation. We were in the Molten rec room up on the fourth floor, I believe. I think it's fourth floor. And we would go up there. A bunch of us would go up there that had, we had individuals that we were dating. They brought us some of us together. Then some of the other guys were people who, or individuals who were from the same locality, knew each other in high school. We're good friends with them also because they were hometown. There were other young men that were a part of that. And then there were individuals who were friends and were dating young ladies that all of us were together and still part of the original group. So it's just to say that we're talking about original 5, it might have been original 7 of us.
Oh,
wow.
Only in the sense that the original 5 came up with the concept, came up with the idea, which later on developed into a concept, which later on developed to working on a constitution.
Okay.
But those original 5 were the ones that said, I think I don't want to pledge this, or I don't want to do this. And this being, be involved with another organization, another male organization that was a fraternity. And nor do I want to go through a pledge period with all of the conditions that happen and activities that happen. And then it didn't seem to provide the other group of us what we thought should be what we would like to be. We thought, and this is as we start really getting in deep. We thought that there was the opportunity to provide another organization for men that really looked at how we can assist to help develop young men to be individuals that would respect the African American community, that would have to develop the progress to improve ourselves and the community, to be able to reach out to a brother, not necessarily in the group that we're talking about, but in be able to understand and reach out to a brother adjacent to you to be able to accomplish positive things in life. Brotherhood was something that was important to all of us, even though we had different ideas and relationship. We still felt that the group of us that were up there was always a certain number, like we talk about five. I was involved with it, and there were a couple other guys. The other guys said, they just sort of dropped out. But when we started getting down to taking that concept and developing it into what we thought we want to have and what we thought we need to do, and once we worked on that and had that together, then we had to find out what do we have to submit to the Divine Nine organization that was handling the process with the social organizations. So we got that information and we developed a submittal to the campus organization that helps develop clubs and activities. Now, I don't know if I've gone too far.
No, you're going.
Definitely.
I'll tell you got me in that state of mind where you can visualize everything going on.
Yeah, I'm definitely sitting okay, how did that? Yeah, I can see.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see how that process went.
And I'm sure it was met with some types of obstacles as well along the way, right?
That was dealing with the school administration. Once we decided on what we wanted to do as an organization, what was put down to present to the school system. That's when the verbiage that came up to go into that request, and it wasn't easy because all of us had some idea of what we thought was most important, and getting those in so that they lapped and read correctly was what I don't remember who was doing it, but it was easier to do it in Moulton because it gave us a space where all of us could communicate and be able to have enough I'm trying to think of the word I want to say to best describe it, but I guess the best way to describe it is to understand what friendship is all about. Respecting each other. And there were individuals that once we submitted that, one of the primary thing was we didn't have enough of membership. We needed more people to come in. And that's where we were going. I don't know if I got away from your subject.
No, you're still there.
And that's where we came back and said, okay, let's see what we can do. And we developed our first line. And that first line went in with the original request. That was, let me reverse it. The first The first group of individuals went in did not have enough people. The second submittal was developed and was presented to the school system. This is a second submittal. And we still did not have enough for obtaining ourselves as a fraternity. We then found out we had enough to be able to submit ourselves a third time to be able to get status as a social club and organization. But by that time, we were at our second line.
Okay. Oh, okay. So when you started, and not to interrupt you, so it's like when you started off, you had the underground line, and then you started off as a social group, to my understanding, and then you had to do the proper paperwork to get in as a fraternity. Am I hearing that correctly?
Right. We started out as an organization asking for fraternal when we submitted the package.
Right.
Okay, and that was denied. And so we went back. I'm trying to think of the guys' names at the same time. Mm-hmm. We went back and
you had to submit the paperwork to a guy in the school system, I'm assuming, and they kind of kept denying you to.
Well, we had taken one line over, mm-hmm. And when we went back the third time, and that was to get to see if we could get social club status, mm-hmm. And we had another underground line. So there were two underground lines in that process, and we were I was trying to talk to somebody else about some of the names, but we distinctly could remember people who went over in that first line, like Canaan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is Olin. I'm going to chime in right here. Chuck and I were talking earlier, and Chuck and Leroy Burke, who's a member, was a member before my line, the underground. He was on the second underground line. And Leroy Burke had sent to Charles an email that read these names: Bruce Edwards, Isaac Afram, Canaan Harris, William Jones, Leroy Loops Owens, John Rogers, Ronald Kip Wagner, Joseph Chico Williams, Pancho, I forgot Pancho's name, but it'll come to me in a minute because it's in that book, and Charles were all members before Leroy Burke. So the point that Charles was making is that there were 5 founding members,
right?
But there were other people involved in the room,
right?
Which Charles is one of.
In that room,
he's in that room.
Right.
Okay.
So in the first line were some of the names that I read, mm-hmm. And in the second line was Leroy Burke and at least one other person. Mm-hmm. So those were the 2 underground lines before Premier Image.
Okay.
And
so just to go back on what he just said, in that process, was it? It seems like it was like a 2-year process for that to go through.
Yeah.
To my understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 2 years would be made up from 1967 when the idea came up, mm-hmm. through 1968, yeah. When Gamma became a chartered social club, mm-hmm. at Hampton Institute at, mm-hmm. the time. Mm-hmm. and then in '69 when Premiere Image. So that's the 2-year period.
Okay.
One more thing that Charles mentioned, and he was talking about the non-approval. The original non-approval for fraternity status was pretty much, if I understand this correctly, Charles, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the non-approval for fraternity status came from the Divine Nine, from the other fraternities at the time.
Okay.
So they rejected the idea of Gamma becoming a fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
But when the paperwork, when that was rejected in 67, 68, they went back again, filed papers at Hampton Institute to become a social club.
Okay.
And that's how.
That's the one that got approved.
Is that correct, Charles?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I think the other thing too is when that second line had individuals that were also of the same mind as the original concept being developed, and same desires, same capabilities, and how things were presented to the public. You would generally see us together, but not taking up a whole table.
Right.
Because I might be with whom I came in with somebody dealing with architecture, and we're working as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we recognize each other as brothers, and wanted to have our identity as an organization to be able to do things, but at the same time, have a group of men who were self-insured about their capabilities and desires and wanting to express themselves as being strong men in front of people. I was fortunate to meet Leroy Loops by mutual friends, his girlfriend and my girlfriend. And
are we saying Loops Watson or Loops Burks?
Loops is Leroy Watson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we got to know each other pretty well, and hung out a lot, but not as much as the architectural students. And to me, as an individual in architecture, having your ideas explored by individuals who may be your clients or individuals who were at that time students in the school, help develop the ability to want to be around people that have ideas to help develop mankind and develop the community that you're in. So for me, I sort of lean toward the architectural students and what was going on, because all of us from the 5th year down to the 1st year, in some circumstances, had a relationship. If you couldn't figure out how to get an angle or something like that, you would end up sometimes talking to a upperclassman. If nobody else in the building in your class, you might have talked to the other class. Then you found out that everybody was willing to work with each other. That was the key, more so than anything else, when we started looking at the third line. And I think I knew Olin's class probably about 100% that I can't remember now. But we got to know each other and got to talk about things. And this was somewhat, I guess, in his freshman year that we were talking. And eventually, during that time frame, we decided to get a line together. So I ended up trying to convince Olin and Dooley and Butch and D, yeah.
Ron
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much naming your whole line.
Your whole line.
Yeah, and that was that was unique because
Well, can you kind of explain just how that recruiting process? I mean, I know you're doing it now, but it's just to see those guys back in that time. How did that process go for you and the other?
I think it what we were trying to do as an organization was to find young men who are able to provide a change in society at some point in their life. To see how young men express themselves if they're walking, in my situation, walking from Bemis down to the Virginia Cleveland. That's where you're going to go to eat. But, carrying himself in such a way that he is proud of himself, that he has, in our eyes, the ability to do more for society than he thinks he has that capability.
And I don't mean to interrupt either, but I have a question, and that is that mindset and having that mindset. Did that have anything to do with one, the state that the country was in at that moment, especially for African Americans, and two, did the Vietnam War at that time also play a part in having that mindset of what you guys was looking for? Okay.
No, not at all. Um, Canaan was the one after he came on board, wanted to say, "Wait a minute, guys, we're too soft," and we're saying, "Well, wait a minute, that's not all we're talking about." And Canaan said, "Well, I'm a part of Persian Rifle. I'm a part of Q's, and I think I should be in charge of the line because I have more experience in organizations with fraternities." And we're saying, "Well, wait a minute, Canaan, let me tell you, we pretty much believe that, and I'm saying it's more to me, more to my thinking than it would been to somebody else. I don't even let my cousin turn around and thump me in my chest or figure out another way, because right now, he's probably the closest male to me in the sense that he may jump up and hit me and I may not hit him back.
Right.
But anybody else though?
Yeah, right.
They getting them hands.
Yeah. And so I compromised with Canaan, that we would end up, doing it in a way that would be appropriate. Like we would end up, I think it was a rock when you guys were in the building, and I believe it was somebody passing you guys the rock and believing in your other brother that it wouldn't hurt. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there was
blindfolded.
Well,
blindfolded.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had to make sure that the rock, passed, or else when you drop it, it would injure you. And it got to a point where really it wasn't that, it was a joke more or less on how the rock was, I believe, tied, or how did you carry it? Do you remember?
It's taking them down memory. You like, man, I don't want to go down that memory road.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road.
You bring it back old
You
memories.
bring it back old memories.
So,
I tried to put that out in my
Yeah.
But the thought of it is, and what we were trying to do was a mental thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was all mental. You would think that you don't know if the guy has the rock or not,
Yeah.
but you know he's a Knicks guy, and you would put the rock over close to his body. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Oh, okay.
And drop it. You hear this boom boom, and you would think that either the guy fell or something happened to him. And I'll leave it there because you don't. And maybe somebody might come up with this later on in life.
Yeah, this
that
might
gentleman
be.
sitting to your left right there is the new dean of induction. So
Right,
My mind is spinning right now.
Like,
But Canaan came up with the things that were done as new inductees were brought into the organization, and he was the at that particular time after Fruit Loops, he was a person that took the line over.
Okay.
Because he had more experience than organizations dealing with that.
So Canaan was the DI for the first line?
Right.
No.
Yeah,
I'm about with the above ground line.
Above ground.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Oh, okay.
And Loops was ADI.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
So we had actually Canaan was a Q and a P and a PR, and Loops was a PR.
Okay.
Okay.
So they came with a lot of disciplinary mindset.
Yeah, they did. They did, and about pledging, and it wasn't all mental. So
No, it wasn't. They waited for Charles to go away, and then
Charles would be the
Charles was he was the protector.
I was surprised that they went out to have for exercising and all what was going on, and they ended up. We had so many people pledging at that particular time that we went out and had 2 teams out there, and the objective was just like baseball. To be able to get a home run or be able to at least get to first.
Right.
You mentioned one thing earlier about thumping. That was the thing that I hated the most. Thumping the chest.
Yeah.
God. That sounds lovely.
It is, but the thing of it is, all we talking about all those things. It was still keeping in mind and being respectful of the pledgee. You don't, and when I said you don't want to do anything that you wouldn't allow your brother to do, that you've got you're a natural brother, and you've got to think about what is going on and would that pledgee respect you more, or be able to, I guess at the end of it, shake hands and say that you're my brother.
Yeah. So I'm gonna push forward just a little bit, and hopefully it may set us back to another memory. But I do want to get into the shield and you being in that room with Canaan and whoever else, and if you want to elaborate on whoever else was in the room when you all decided to come up with design and everything when it comes to shield, and why you and him decided to do it for Gamma.
Well, right, the organization wanted to come up with what our shield or what our presentation to the community would look like. And I sketched out something rough while I was in the Bemis. And it was just a sketch. It was, a shield in the sense, how can I make it look strong and yet respectful for the organization? How can I avoid the other shields, but still, I say avoid their design in relationship to our shield? So Canaan was the individual helping with the pledgees.
Mm-hmm.
And so came up with the first sketch, not sure of the proportions, we got sitting down with Canaan, we sketched out how it would look, meaning the outline
Mm-hmm.
of it. How would it be projected, and what would be the things that were important? And how can we have a shield, begin to talk for us and what we wanted to do? So we basically resketched it and tried to think about what proportions we would want it to be, how, and actually, just trying to look at it, how is it going to fit on a shirt or on a jacket, that it could expand a little bit, but it's still, because of the size of each pledgee's body, you don't want something that's so tight, and when you can't do anything with it, yet you want something that's going to be from here down.
Mm-hmm.
And so messed with it a little bit. I went back to the dorm. Now we're talking about putting dimensions on it. And once we decided on the dimensions, oh, by the way, there's in there, we presented some idea of what we were doing to the overall brothers that were there. And so after that, that's when we started putting dimensions on it. And we had some idea about the colors, but we weren't sure if it was going to work the way we thought it would work. So we began to put overall dimensions, still sketching some things in between that were in there, sketching Gamma Epsilon Theta. Weren't sure how big it should be in reference to the other proportion. Looked at the orb and how would it relate, and I don't remember what is that, the green and blue,
The colors?
the colors, yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about the colors later.
Yeah. Yeah. The crown reef and
the crown reef here, the pyramid.
Yeah.
The symbols, the orbs.
Yeah.
The olive dress.
so all of that was in the design when you started going with the finding the after you got the dimensions together, you started implementing all of these things into the design of the shield.
Well, we had thought, if you can look at the way Olin's is going right now, we had first thought about the mass, but after deciding the mass, we thought that there should be other things of meaning, and I'm not sure at this point in my life if I can remember what the crown was for, what the pyramid was for. But
we do.
Yeah,
We know.
know.
So you okay? We know, and we will drop a picture of the shield right here, so you all will be able to see what we're talking about while Brother Price is speaking. So
I think that and the decision of how Gamma Epsilon Theta relationship to each the Theta relationship to Gamma, Theta's relationship to Theta. I think that we came about because of what we wanted to represent it as of importance. As the orb was important to us because it was the beginning of what the organization is, and it also had a meaning of leadership in the sense of the definition of what you would hope individuals coming into organization would have, that uniqueness with them. I think that the whole thing, when you say brother, it has to have a meaning, even though the five of us here right now, the relationship is brotherhood. I might be a little bit tighter to Olin right now because of our relationship over the years.
Mhm.
I mean, when you think of 50 years, I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and you all probably have been in here, I'm gonna say no more than 10 years, with the exception of Olin. Is that about right?
Oh,
2 years.
two, not even
Yeah,
two.
not even two.
Oh, wow.
I haven't.
Not even one.
Well, I just made one. So
Oh, yeah?
I made one in April. So yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's really great.
We do have pixels on the camera. So
Oh yeah. If you didn't know,
if you ain't know,
Pixels is on the camera. So,
Yeah, it is, for me, going in from a historical viewpoint, that the organization has survived itself. And, when I say it's gotten to this point, 50 plus years for me, and still trying to do the same things that we were trying to do originally. The charge to you guys would be whatever you can do to help improve society, your family, your brothers in the organization. It gives you that capability to do that, to, as they say, lean on the shield. Because there are times you need to be able to talk to somebody, and that your conversation is going to be among you and
your
whatever
brothers.
brothers you want it to be with. And that's the uniqueness. Did we have activities? I'm saying a nice word.
Oh yeah.
That you would want, that part of it is private, but also part of it is in relationship of each other. And it allowed you to not only respect your brothers, but respect your sisters in the sisterhood, but also understand that you're the next brother that's going to produce and continue producing this organization. Again, for me, I'm sitting here and I didn't do the math, but it's over 50 years.
It's almost 60 years.
Yeah.
This is 25, and in 2 years from 67,
Yeah.
it will be
60 years.
60 years.
Yeah.
Is that something?
And that's something
Is that
because
something?
as you see here,
That's really
We're
something.
not even that old, Charles.
I know. I
know
mean,
what happened.
So-
I know.
but you got to feel good as you sit here and talk and see where I don't know last time you really been around a bunch of brothers, but seeing where we're at now and where we're trying to move and how we are moving and how we're not just want to move forward, but we have to look back, and that's the reason we're here, to get a better understanding of our fraternity and its inception and what was the thought process from the start and the questions like kids have, why, so we have to come to you guys and be like, why, give us a better understanding, so as we move the fraternity forward, we can be the ones explaining the understanding part, so
I sincerely hope that that you have a better understanding of the organization. It is not. It's not the Qs. It's not the Kappas, Kappas or Iotas.
mhm.
For me, in the dormitory, I was roommate, or my RA was an alpha as my roommate. I also had one that was a Q and Persian rifle. And from what I saw, them as brothers is not something that I want to be a part of. And I guess that sort of led me to, what am I going to do? And, I had conversations with this young man and the other brothers that were in architecture, but also I was associated with some other individuals who were upperclassmen, as you heard about Burks and others. And through that whole process, part of it was friendship. Part of it was the fact that, when you're going out on a date, you not only had your date, but sometimes the other person, your other friend, or her other friend would bring somebody, and you begin a relationship then. And somehow we heard it not only through college, through the normal semester time frame, from the fall to the spring. And we still were able to find the capabilities of doing things. I found that what I was doing and what individuals I met, like Olin and like the rest of the individuals in Bemis that was in around Olden's class, I think there was one or two older classmates that might have been with us. When I say older, the next year up. But the important thing is for when you're asking somebody to join your organization, you've got to be there. You've got to be their leaders to be able to do the things that you are attempting as an organization to do.
And just to piggyback off of what you were just saying about the importance of that type of brotherhood back then, and even the part of having, because I keep on hearing like-minded, like you had somebody to be with, and then they had girlfriends and things like that put together. So how important was that type of brotherhood back then, and just the camaraderie of the brotherhood of Gamma Epsilon Theta in that time for you?
I think that it's brotherhood, but it's friendship. I know majority of the guys that I was in school with, we were all somehow linked together prior to the organization. But also, I guess it's one of those questions where it's a little difficult to try to make sure you hit all the points, because everything you just asked were things that were important to us to be able to create the organization. If you finding like men is not an easy thing.
No, it's not.
Right? It's not a situation where you're getting ready to go to war. Right. It's not that. And it's not a situation where my neighborhood is better than your neighborhood and we're going to fight about it.
Right.
It's about a situation that realizes I can help you make your neighborhood better and move forward. And you can help me to make my neighborhood better. And if we keep on working together, we may end up now having a community. So I don't know if I answered the question.
No, that totally answers the question. That totally answers the question. And to keep going with that, my next one would be, and hopefully you understand what I'm about to ask. Why you was in that room? So maybe you can tell us why Gamma Epsilon Theta and not like Phi Chi Omega, or why not Alpha Beta, whatever the case is. Why the words? Why those Greek letters Gamma, Epsilon, and Theta?
Trying to see if I can recall. Was it? I don't want to say the wrong thing because I'm not.
Okay.
It's not one of those things at a certain time that at that particular time when we came up with it, we realized we had to have something that had emphasis on the wording when you may not know what Gamma Epsilon Theta is. It had to be strong enough that when you said gamma, generally you put a lot of emphasis on gamma, the beginning of the word. And each one of the words, Gamma Epsilon Theta, Theta with the TH sign, all of those beginning words have the beginning letters have power behind them.
Right. They do.
And I know when we were talking and sitting down, now you're going to have to, oops, I can't say it that way.
All right.
You can, hey, this is YouTube, really. You can say whatever you want.
I guess it's for my situation, being around my family as much, and Olin knows this, that it's very important that how I say things, that maybe when I'm with the guys, I might be different, but when I'm around my daughters and her friends, or I'm in the house, period, I gotta be.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. We know.
If I want them to respect themselves, then I gotta respect them.
Right.
Okay, getting back to why the Gamma Epsilon Theta. I think I was just letting you know that we went over other meaning, but the meaning of those words at that time was part of how we wanted to be described. I can't remember the definition of each one of the words. When I said the definition, the actual meaning Greek-wise.
No, we know that as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. You got something? I got one. I actually got one more question.
I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
What brought you about to try to have this discussion with someone who's 79 and I'm doing good to remember?
You are doing awesome. So this is what we do. Like I said earlier, it's for us. When we came through the process, your name is in our induction manual. You and brother Harris created something that we had to learn, and we had to understand it, and we had to, now we wear it, we wear it proudly, and to understand what it is. It's always nice to talk to the original designer. I think a lot of people say, if I could talk to God. Not calling you all God, but when it comes to someone that designs something, it's a good reference to be able to understand why and how and reasoning, So that was our purpose of speaking to you and wanting to speak with you at 79, and you are doing a magnificent job.
And just to piggyback off of what he's saying, it's just, this is history.
This is history.
You are history.
Yes.
So when we do put this out and people have questions, they can reference history.
Yep.
Because you are a part of that lineage. So it's important for current, past, and future Gamma Epsilon Theta members to know what happened and how it happened and where it started and how it started. You are an important part of that history.
And the best part about it is that we actually get to meet you.
Yeah.
Because you think about how many people have came through, how many brothers have actually came through or crossed over into the Gamma world, into Gamma Epsilon Theta, and all they know is the name Charles Price. We crossed over into Gamma, and we know and met Charles Price. Right. So it's history, but it's a pleasure for us. That's why I say it's an honor and a pleasure for us to be here, sitting with you. As in our eyes, in our book, you are a legend.
Well, I don't know about being a legend, but I'll take the salute and all of the other positive things. But seriously, guys, what I've thought about over the years, yes, going to homecoming, that's my primary when I'm down in Tidewater. Um, I used to, my company, we used to do work down in Tidewater, and I would end up sometimes scheduling myself in such a way that if I wanted to spend part of the weekend down in that area, I could do so. But Gamma Epsilon Theta has always been something that's been in my mind. My wife is a member of our sister organization, and she doesn't like me to say how long these activities have been. But development of this organization is dependent on individuals wanting to do the positive things. What has to be what can be done to, as I use the neighborhood scenario, um, after our business, and we ended up stopping the business. We closed the doors and began to do whatever we wanted to do, and that in itself changed certain things on how I would look into being business. And I can go down this road only in the sense as this time as a brother talking to you, because if you're trying to do anything positive, it's not going to come easy. Myself, I was very fortunate in that I had an uncle who was already in business, and he would get after my cousin and I if we did the wrong thing. But we were able to, as far as I got involved with him actually in business in 1971. And he had been in business almost 10 years before. Mm-hmm. And we stayed in business all the way to 2008. Mm-hmm. But it was a situation where my uncle was that brother that I needed to have to tell me the right and wrong, the correct thing. He had a thing where he would say to me, we'd get ready to go somewhere, and I go get in his personal car, and he would say, "Nope, we're not taking that." And every time I think we have a potential client that we're going to talk to, he will not do that. He will end up getting the station wagon, the company station wagon, or in one of the trucks or something, depending on what's going on. Generally, was the construction. Was it
superintendent?
Huh?
Construction superintendent? You talking about the person?
No, I wasn't a superintendent. But anyway, what it was is that he would end up taking one of the company's vehicles. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that was there were clientele that we would go to that could see us pulling up with a Lincoln at that time, that Lincoln or Cadillac at that time was representative supposedly of money. Right. And he says, you don't do that because you want people to understand that you're just like them. Right. You're at a level where you're respectful of them, they're respectful for you. But if you walk up there with that Cadillac and got all of that bling at that time in it, you're going to already have something that you're going to have to worry them about or get them to understand that you're there to help them. Mm-hmm. What they're looking at, if this guy has this, what is he going to be charging me to do the work? Mm. And or are they going to make me as a businessman provide information that you aren't sure that you could provide what they want, but you think you can. And if you don't provide it during construction, you will find out later on that now you're being almost blackballed in your community because you came to the business looking like a millionaire, and that's not what you want to present. That's what brotherhood is all about, though, helping each other to avoid pitfalls in life. You know, I sit around and look at you guys and I'm saying to myself, while I'm trying to talk, make sure you can be as clear as you possibly can, because you may not have this ability later on in life. I think it's so important that you're always looking at improving yourself and your family, true enough. But if you have the capabilities of providing a service, be able to provide the best damn service you possibly can. If your clientele is clientele around you, as well as maybe up to DC or something, you've got to be respectful of that area. And you got to be even more respectful of where you put your footprints every time you get up and go outside your house. That whole area, you got to be respectful.
And, we had a conversation a little while ago about, the representation of Gamma Epsilon Theta to the world and that level of respect that we must show so people can have that respect for us at the same time. So,
yeah, sorry, I went off.
No, it made us understand it. And
that's a full circle moment.
You may not know, but you dropped about 14 gems up in there. And I'm counting. I'm like, ding, that's one. And ding, that's two.
I hope everybody's picking them up.
I hope you're picking them up. Yeah. All right. I do have one final question. And Olin, you can correct me if I'm a little bit out of bounds on this one. But like I said, the more he talked, things came to me, and I'm like, man, maybe I should ask him right quick why he can, why he got it. So, or why I got him here. The colors of the shield themselves.
Well, I only said I because it's not an easy thing for me to remember. I just know we thought of all of the colors that was being presented on campus at that time.
Okay.
Especially the fraternities. And we were looking at that when we first started, but it was also realizing that it would be something that would speak of itself also for any other organization. What I can remember as part of one conversation or a couple of conversations Canaan and I had was the fact that those colors were colors that represented, I don't want to use the word power, but confidence, pride. When you're walking in, it wasn't something that was going to be like so bright that you have a color. It would be almost like a person putting on all yellow and walking down the street and just standing there. You just want exposure and at that time notoriety. All we were talking about is how can I be able to present myself in such a way that it's not overpowering, yet it is something that people will turn their heads to want to look at. Oh, that's the Gammas coming in. We are strong enough as men of who we are, and the Gamma is just part of helping with that identification. Does it mean power? Does it mean wealth? Does the blue mean sky? Or does the green deal with the growth of mankind? you can put some names and numbers and things about it like that, but the biggest thing is each one of those colors have an existence of life. And that's the most important thing that we're thinking about. And the blue has the representation of the eternity of life, in the sense that you're always going to be a type of person that's going to be able to grow himself, develop himself. The green, I'm not sure.
I think you said it earlier. You know, the green, because when people think of gamma, and the color green and gamma kind of do go together. If you really think about, well, I know television has really given us that whole Incredible Hulk gamma ray green thing, you know. So, but green is a powerful color. Gamma is a powerful entity by itself. So, even with gamma rays and the radioactive fallout, it's very powerful. Gamma rays are the only part of radioactivity that can penetrate metal. So it is a powerful thing. Gamma, the word gamma it is powerful. So we can hold on to that power of that.
And I think one other thing is that the color of this tablecloth, the green that's in this, it was too, in some ways, too bright. It wasn't what we wanted to try to do. The blue was supposed to be
not navy.
No, not navy.
It was royal blue.
Yeah. And
Kelly green.
Yeah.
As opposed to lime green.
Lime green, okay.
Okay.
Well,
and it's hard trying to find some of those colors, but it was something at that particular time we felt comfortable in trying to do it. Thanks for that, Olin.
Yeah, quite well.
Well, we found them, and we know how to use them, and they are great colors together. We know that. So, but
and the other thing to consider too, no other fraternity had the blue or the green.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, one might have blue,
right?
And I don't know any fraternity that has green.
I don't know if any has green as well.
When you put that blue and green together, that is a powerful thing.
It is.
It's powerful. It's beautiful. What are we looking at, KD?
Oh, we had about an hour.
All right. So you got any more questions for our distinguished guest over here?
Well, I just had one more, and it could be just a statement.
You sure he dropped so many gems already? You got to get another one. Let's get another one. I'm with it.
I think this just set it off.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
we're gonna let you give that final statement for us, Mr. Price,
and
Brother Price.
Yeah, and in this final statement, being there from the beginning and going into the future, what type of words would you have for the current member, past member, or future member of that type of word of encouragement to just be a part of this type of fraternity? And just again, what would you have to say to that person or the people that's involved with Gamma Epsilon Theta? In your personal opinion, of course.
While you were asking me, I was looking at this napkin and trying to get the line straight. And thinking about, you you're going to have things that will affect you or present to you difficult solutions. I often look at situations and figure out how are we going to make my life better, or make individuals better, or make an organization better. And it takes all of us to attempt what we want this organization to be. But in that process of while you're doing it, you may come to a conclusion of how this napkin is going to get stronger as I work with this. You guys are going to get stronger from the conversation we've had today. But this meeting of us is one that I hope will encourage you to want to find your napkin and figure out how to fold it so that when you finish it, it can stand up by itself. Come on. And if you continue doing that, you're going to develop a situation where maybe your development is going to be in your community or it's going to be in your business. But I think each one of you young men in here are going to have an impact on what would be most important to you to bring into the organization. When you think about how many members you have today, I think your challenge is going to be able to keep everybody wanting to participate. It's not an organization where you turn around every time and have something and fill yourself up with beer and wine. That's not what Gamma Epsilon Theta is about. It's be cautious, be able to do that, be able to engage that, but you also have to have the capabilities of having your organization building itself to be able to assist people in life. It may be dealing with Boys and Girls Club, that may be dealing with something on campus, dealing with youth, but it's going to be something where you look together and say, can we help this individual or this organization or this group of kids? I'm in one organization where we automatically take out of our pockets $2,000 among all of us. We bring that in, and then we bring it as a scholarship for a student going to college, or a scholarship for a student who is learning how to work with computers. And they to do that, they're charging them. It's important that you keep in mind that you have the capabilities of doing more than you realized before, each one of you. You have the capabilities of being stronger men, to also work with your families and be the guiding light of, damn, that guy can really do something. And that organization, they ended up working with us to send 2 kids to college, or to send 2 kids to through a nursing program.
Good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we take every word, at least, us sitting here, and we hope everyone out there listening, all our brothers out, in the fraternity, listen and take heed to some of these words and some of these things that our brother Price has presented before us today.
Yes.
We want to thank you once again.
Yes,
I know we've thanked you 100 times, and we tell you how much we admire you, but we truly want to thank you for taking the time to be able to entertain us and smarten us up, as we call it. But just sharing and pushing us down your memory lane. I know KD was thinking the same thing as you talk, like, oh, we were really involved,
I'm engaged.
Engaged. So we do appreciate your time. We know it's precious. We appreciate your energy, and we appreciate your answers and just your presence. So thank you once again.
Yes, thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, Olin, as well, for not just linking up, but also for providing, being that person we had to lean on here and there. Thank you, Pixels, for making that ride down as well, providing production for us. KD, you want to close us out?
Let me say one thing.
Yes, sir.
If you can before. The brotherhood that may be on, or the ones here, or people that you're talking about, brotherhood is really important. Look here, like I said, Olin said, it's 60-some years. So I back off of that at maybe 3. So Olin, it would end up being, what do you say, 63?
It will be 60 years in 2 years.
So it'll be 57.
It's 57.
We've known each other through
It's a long time.
through our major in college, and after that, friendship. And think about that, because there are times when you guys are saying we're making history. Well, I don't even think about it until I get with you guys. I'm making. Thanks a lot.
But that's because you don't read the book that we're reading. Right. If you read the book, especially with us being on the induction team, we see it all the time. So you don't get to read your name in print all the time. We do. So definitely, that's why we look at you and hold you where we hold you at in our hearts, and in this fraternity as well. So, like I said, thank you, man. We truly appreciate it. We appreciate the hospitality pleasure. With you and your wife. So
yes. That's pretty much it.
Till the next time.
Yep. DAG.
DAG. We'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Out.